Hi everyone, this is Dr. Bate and this is my lecture on quality management, Lean, and Six Sigma. So let's take a scenario. You're washing dishes when your ring, a wedding ring, a class ring, whatever, slips off your finger and falls into the murky dishwater. You could fumble around amongst the dishes while blindly searching for the ring, or you could twist the drain knob to safely drain the water, knowing your ring is too large to slip through the grate at the bottom of the sink. With the water gone, the ring will be right there, easily found. Seems obvious, right? Well, in manufacturing, this has become obvious to more and more companies, evolving into what we call the philosophy of Lean. Like draining the water so you can find your ring, Lean is the process of making obvious what adds value by reducing everything else. Lean methodology is transforming companies and organizations and services, manufacturing, government, and healthcare. Let's take a look at just one example from the healthcare field. The Johns Hopkins Outpatient Center and the Neck Center had problems. Registration lines were long, waiting rooms were crowded, and it was becoming increasingly difficult to start appointments on time. Something had to be done to improve service to the center's clients, while reducing waste and therefore cost. The methodology chosen to address the center's issues were Lean. The center's processes were mapped, while the team chosen to address the clinic's problems used a variety of different tools to identify waste. They then implemented a series of process changes to reduce waste. For example, staffing patterns for the front desk were changed to better align with patient flow, reducing lines. Ultimately, applying Lean methodology to waste reduction in the clinic produced a 44% increase on time appointment commencements. The roots of Lean can be traced back to the automobile manufacturer Toyota. The United States first became aware of the Toyota Production System, or TPS, in the 1970s. TPS is a manufacturing system whose philosophy centers on the complete elimination of all waste in all aspects of production. The most efficient methods are pursued in all areas of company activities. Just-in-time is a philosophy of waste elimination that I want to focus on. It is based on making and supplying only what is needed, when it is needed, and in the amount needed. Each process produces only what is required by the next process in a continuous flow, with ideally no shortages, no overages, and very little ongoing materials inventory. JIT, just-in-time, is comprised of three operating elements: the pull system, takt time, and continuous flow. Lean was coined by authors James Womack and Daniel T. Jones in 1996. Their book, Lean Thinking, explains that central to Lean as a methodology is the concept of the value stream. A value stream comprises all those activities and activities required to bring a product from concept to launch and from order to delivery. This includes actions to process information and to transform the product from raw inputs to finished goods. Adopting the Lean methodology requires that business leaders change their thinking. Womack and Jones in Lean Thinking propose a 5-step thought process to guide managers through this transformation. They recommend that business leaders do the following: specify value from the standpoint of the end customer by product family. Map the value stream. This means identifying all the steps in the value stream for each product family and eliminating, whenever possible, those steps that do not create value. Create flow by arranging the value-creating steps in tight sequence. This will help the product to flow smoothly toward the customer. Establish pull. As flow is introduced, let customers pull value from the next upstream activity and seek perfection. As value is specified, value streams are identified, wasted steps are removed, and flow and pull are introduced. As the cycle repeats, continue refining it until a state of perfection is reached. This is a condition in which perfect value is created without waste. In Lean, the primary vehicles used for making improvements are the Kaizen, Workout, and Rapid Improvement event. These are very focused, organized work sessions that include process stakeholders. These events are planned in advance, well planned in advance. Each event can last from 1 to 5 days depending on the scope and nature of the problem, area, or process to be improved. Thinking about this from a management perspective, Lean is a proven vehicle for reducing waste and improving flow, whether done as a project or Lean event, or as a well-coordinated series of projects in a company-wide deployment. Lean transformations occur every day in every industry. From manufacturing to healthcare and across every industry in between, eliminating waste makes companies more cost-efficient, more responsive, and more competitive as they provide value to customers. These are critical and innovative methods through which you, as a business leader, can better position yourself and your company to win. As a part of overall quality management, we can't lose focus of Six Sigma and the value that Six Sigma plays. There's an old joke about two men who get into a fight at a bar. The first man tells the second man, "I have to warn you, I'm a black belt." He then promptly loses the fight, probably because his black belt was in Six Sigma, not karate. You've probably heard the term Six Sigma black belt before in the business world. Having a black belt certification in Six Sigma means that you can effectively apply the concepts, tools, and techniques of Six Sigma. But what is Six Sigma? Simply put, it's a method of eliminating waste and improving quality that focuses on the customer. The goal is to produce near-perfect processes, improving financial performance and organizational efficiency to breakthrough levels. Sigma is a statistical term that denotes the standard deviation, or measure of variation in a process. In other words, Sigma is a measure of how variable a process is. As a metric, Sigma indicates the level of performance with Six Sigma as near perfection at no more than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. These defects, or errors, could have to do with anything from the design and production of a product to a customer-oriented service. As variation reduces, the standard deviation decreases. With a more consistent process, the Six Sigma level of performance increases. So how does Six Sigma work? Six Sigma translates customer needs into operational terms or critical to quality requirements. In other words, this methodology determines what matters to customers most, defines processes critical to those aspects of the customer's wants and needs, and establishes on what basis what tasks must be done and done well. Six Sigma projects improve the performance of processes, services, or products to breakthrough levels of effectiveness and efficiency. Breakthrough performance is generally defined as a new and unprecedented level of performance compared to what the business entity was previously improving. Two project methodologies are used in Six Sigma. One of them, used for improvement projects, is called DMAIC. The other, used for design projects, is called DMADV, or DFSS, Design for Six Sigma. The DMAIC method is used for improvement projects. The letters represent the project phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. I'll give you a second to look at this screen and read the definitions. For designing projects, we use a more customer-focused, methodology called Design for Six Sigma, or DMADV. The letters in DMADV again stand for project phases: define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. This is a customer-focused process. The voice of the customer and customer requirements drive the design effort. This results in an effective product, process, or service. I'll give you a second to read the definitions and tools. Most people understand that Six Sigma reduces waste. Never forget that this reduction is not merely academic. It isn't always a matter of improving the bottom line. Reducing waste can affect all aspects of a business or other entity, and sometimes the difference saves lives. Take, for example, Johns Hopkins Hospital. At Johns Hopkins, more than 4.4% of packed red blood cells had to be discarded before they could be delivered to patients. Most of the time, this was because units left the blood bank for more than 30 minutes allowed to administer them. Blood that reaches temperatures beyond the maximum allowed limits, or which have been out of the blood bank for too long, cannot be given to patients. Using Lean Six Sigma, a team with backgrounds in various fields identified major factors affecting blood product wastage. These included units being improperly packed in coolers, which allowed them to become too warm before they could be administered. Implementing the Team Six Sigma advantages reduced blood wastage at Johns Hopkins by more than 50%. Over its first 4 years, this effort saved the hospital $800,000, and even more important, ensured that more of this life-saving resource was available to patients who needed it. Six Sigma is not just about theory and not merely about a methodology. Applied properly, it can improve a business's entity's operations, better position that company for competitive advantage, and significantly increase effectiveness and efficiency while reducing or eliminating waste. Business leaders must be prepared to implement Six Sigma from the top down, selecting and launching products that help their companies to achieve both short and long-term financial and strategic goals. By driving improvements in effectiveness and efficiency, Six Sigma is one way that business leaders can use operations management to gain a competitive advantage.